Shalom. It's your brother Matthias coming with another breakdown of the scriptures today, brought to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Bashem Akakadash. Peace and salutations to you out there, you ox and aquat listening and learning. And right into the 1/3, the elect of Israel. Hopefully elect, should I say. This is going to be a topic today. It's a little touchy with your westernized mindset, but I believe through the power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and through the power of the scriptures, it'll be a very positive outcome. We're going to be discussing the reality and the biblical grounds of multiple wives today. All right. That's frowned on in this society because of this westernized mindset that Esau's put on you through TV, music, writings, which are all unbiblical, man. The multiple wives are all through the Bible. And, I don't want y'all looking at me funny because I already know what a lot of you women out there are thinking right now. And I hear it all the time. And it's just unfounded, man. If the Most High said that it's right and lawful to do, you have to look deep into why he's doing it. The Most High doesn't do things haphazardly. He's a God of order. All right. He said, let all things be done decently and in order. So if you don't want to hear it, you could turn the channel now and then you'll pay the cost later on, but don't ever call yourself an Israelite woman. All right. This is set up for our Aquat out here who claim that they're in the truth. We're going to find out today. We're going to see if you will hear out what multiple wives is all about. Because, see, Esau got your mind messed up, man. Esau's got you thinking it's all about sex, sex, sex. And the men of the Lord are just out here being whores and trying to, bed as many women as we can just to be whores. No, those are niggas doing that. There's a reason why multiple wives were instituted by the Most High, from which you benefit greatly from. Greatly. All right. So if you want to hear how you benefit greatly, then continue to tune in and listen to what this is all about, man. Because we're getting ready to get out of here and in the kingdom of heaven, yeah, you are going to share a husband. All right. You're going to share him with your sister wives, and you're going to find out why. And you're going to find out the benefits, and you're going to find out, most of all, why you're going to love it. After you do it, you'll never want to go back to this mindset the way Esau got y'all all messed up, man. All right? So what we're going to do first, we're going to prove through the scriptures that, first of all, is valid, because I don't want anybody out there thinking that I'm trying to dupe them. All right? So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 29, starting at verse 16. And just putting out a disclaimer. This is going to be a pretty lengthy topic. So if I can't get it all in one sitting, I might have to I will have to do a part 2 and possibly a part 3. It's that much material. But I guarantee it'll be worth your while, especially with Aquas out there that claim you in the truth. We're going to find out. And you brothers, hey, yeah, there's benefits to it, man. But there's a responsibility in it for us too, a great responsibility. And the Most High doesn't take it lightly how you treat your wives, okay? So don't think that I'm getting on our aquas, man, where we put our foot on their neck and be like, oh yeah, well, you gonna do what we saying. No, it's more to it than that. Because the Most High cares about how we treat our women, man. All right? He cares very deeply about that, just so you know. And if you treat your woman rash or foul, then he will deal with you, man. He said, husbands, love your wives as Christ also, not Christ, as Hamashiach uh, loved the church and gave himself for it. The same way he gave himself for us is the same attitude that we're supposed to have towards our wives. All right. We're supposed to love them to death. So without further ado, let us get to the scriptures. Genesis chapter 29, starting at verse 16. And it says, and Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah. The name of the younger was Rachel. All right. So Laban was Jacob's, our forefather Jacob's, I believe it's his cousin or uncle. No, it's his uncle. All right. Jumping down to verse 23. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. So Laban brought his daughter Leah to Jacob, and he went into her. All right, verse 24. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for a handmaid. So Laban gave Leah, his daughter, and Zilpah to Leah as a handmaid, but they both belong to Jacob. All right, let's go to verse 30. Genesis 29, verse 30. And he, Jacob, went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served him yet 7 other years. So Rachel is Leah's sister. So he wifed her up too. So that's 3. Okay. Verse 31. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So Jacob went into Leah. Leah was able to bear children, but Leah was able to bear children because the Most High opened up her womb, because apparently Leah wasn't as attractive as Rachel was. So the Most High always goes with the underdog. So he opened up Leah's womb so that Jacob would keep going into her to have children. But he made sure Rachel wouldn't have any children. She was barren. Okay. Let's go to Genesis chapter 30, verse 9. You see all the women that Jacob had? This is 30, verse 9. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid and gave her Jacob to wife. So now Leah got her handmaid, all right, and then gave her to Jacob, and then he had children with her. All right, so this is how it goes. Let's just say you're the first wife on the set. You're the first woman on the set. You got a king. He marries you. Now the women that come after you, those will be your handmaids. All right, you have rank over them because you were first. All right, like I said, there's a natural order to it. Verse 10. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. So he's got, 4 different women. All right, but he's responsible for all of them. Okay. Now let's go to Genesis chapter 16. Genesis chapter 16. I'm going to start off verse 1 and 2. This is our forefather Abraham, whose name is pronounced Abram right now. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. See, this is a woman from another nation. She's not even, this is before the Israelites, but as far as a godly bloodline, Hagar wasn't part of that, man. All right. So she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing, meaning she couldn't have any children right now. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, it may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. So that's how Ishmael was born, the father of the so-called Arabs. All right. So Abraham, had more than one wife. All right. Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 1. I'm going to read verse 1 and 2. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. Now there was a certain man out of Ramathaim Zophim of Mount Ephraim. So he was an Ephraimite, modern day Puerto Rican if you want to know that. And his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephrathite. Verse 2. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. So Hannah was going to end up becoming the mother of Samuel. Okay. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 27. 1 Samuel chapter 27, starting at verse 3. Now we're going to get on to King David. We'll just say about him. And David dwelt with Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, even David with his two wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the Carmelitess, Nabal's wife. Now, Nabal is dead by now, so don't think David is double dipping or nothing. Nabal passed away, Abigail found David, and David took her to be his wife. All right, so he's got two wives. Okay, let's go to Genesis chapter 25. Genesis chapter 25. This thing is acting up. Genesis 25, verse 6. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abram had, Abram gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. So now when you talk about a concubine, that's a totally different animal. Those aren't wives, those are lower level wives. Those go under the handmaids and the first wife. All right. You got the wife, then you got the handmaids, and then you got the concubines under them. All right. 2 Samuel chapter 5. 2 Samuel chapter 5, starting at verse 12. And David perceived that the Lord had established him king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people's sake. Verse 13. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron. And there were yet sons and daughters born to David. All right, sons and daughters from the concubines and the wives. And these be the names of those that were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shemua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon. All right, so Solomon's mom was in that group, Bathsheba. Okay, so David had concubines, and here's the difference. Concubines are women from other nations like Ammonites, which are Japanese, Moabites, which are Chinese, Hagarites or Ethiopians, which are Hamites. All right, they're not Israelites. You can't concubine an Israelite woman. She has to be a wife. She takes preeminence over the other nations when it comes to that. So if you're from one of the 12 tribes, then guess what? You can never be a concubine. You'll be a wife. You'll be on a higher level than a concubine. All right. Now, we'll have some women out there that read and, well, that's the Old Testament. We in the New Testament now. That was back then. So let me shut y'all down with that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5. Starting at verse 1 and 2. The Apostle Paul was dealing with a situation in Corinth. All right. Here's what it says. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as mentioned named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. So how does a young man have his father's wife? He sleep with his own mama. That's incest. So his father's wife is this young man was sleeping with one of his father's concubine. All right. Let's prove that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 7:1. Paul addresses the situation here. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, which is sleeping with a close family member or relative, okay, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Okay? Every man have his own wife, every woman have her own husband. All right? So, yeah, I think y'all get the idea. We went from the Old Testament to the New Testament. All right? Now we're going to go back to the Old Testament to show you what the duties of the man are who have multiple wives, or even if he's got one wife. Okay? What is it that he's supposed to do? Because he has responsibilities that he has to carry out concerning these women. All right? So let's go to Exodus chapter 21. Starting at verse 10. And it says, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So you got a wife, right? You got one. You got to make sure you supply her food, her clothes, a roof over her head. She got a place to live and everything, and duty of marriage. Now, when you look up the word duty of marriage, what does that mean? It means sexual rights. She's not supposed to be deprived sexually because you have another woman now. So you got double duty, bro. And I'm going to prove that. If you go to your Google search engine, Google capital uppercase H 5772, and you're going to run the word ona, ona. That means duty of marriage. And if you read what the definition of ona is in Hebrew, because that's the Paleo Hebrew, that means conjugal rights, sexual rights, and marriage. So it's your job, all right? Put it more commonly, you on booty duty, all right? You have to be able to satisfy all the women that you get. You know, some brothers out there, oh man, that ain't no problem, man. I got enough for everybody. Yeah, okay. That's cool. All right, as long as you know. But it ain't just a sticking, man. You got to be responsible for them. All right? Because here's look at verse 11. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go free without money. She free to go, man, if you can't. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your responsibilities. So that's what you are held to. All right? So, yeah. It's going to be the same way in the kingdom. All right? It's going to be the same way in the kingdom. We're going back to that. This is a future prophecy. All right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 4. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. Now, we're getting ready to head into the Great Tribulation. And the Most High is going to start turning the clock back. All right? And when things start getting bad out here, there's no law enforcement. 911 has been disbanded. Women are going to need protection. Our women are. And there's not going to be enough men to go around. And I'm not talking about just any nigga, all right? I'm talking about a man of the Lord. Men of the Lord are going to be very rare at this time. So they're going to have to take on more than one woman, okay? But not just any woman, no heathen. There are going to be women in the Lord that are going to need that. And this is what the passage is talking about. And we're almost there now. This is Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. There's a reproach. Your judgment, your safety. All right. You're gonna need to be up under a man of the Lord to take away your reproach. Okay. Verse 2. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. So if you a true woman of the Most High, you a true Aqua, you a true Jewess, all right? The Most High is most definitely going to have a man of the Lord in your area, all right? And if you come to him with the right spirit and let him know that you know the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, there's no chance where he's probably not going to take you in. And he's going to do right by you. He's going to protect you. That's what is needed. That's how the nation is going to be reborn in the kingdom. All right? But for all you women out there that are rebellious and hard-headed, I want my own head. Well, then that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to be left out, man. Being wicked and rebellious. Because in the kingdom, this is how it's going to be. All right? A man of the Lord is going to be precious at this time. We get a precept for that. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 13. Let me see. I want to start at. All right, I'll start at verse 6. Go down to verse 12, all right? Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Ain't that what's happening now? Are people scared to death? And it's not even the day of the Lord, man. I mean, this is nothing compared to how bad it's getting ready to be. Verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Verse 8. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, as a woman that's about to give birth. They shall be amazed one at the other. Their faces shall be as flames. What does that mean? Well, people's faces are flames now. Tell them they get diagnosed with COVID and they go, you know, their faces are as flames. They light up. They're fearful. Verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Verse 10. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Why? When these rockets start flying over here, bombs going off, detonation, sending dust and into the atmosphere, it's going to be cloudy and sooty and nasty, and the sun is going to get blotted out. All right? It's going to be a terrible time. Verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. That's what's happening now. The arrogancy of the proud is ceasing. People are not cocky and arrogant no more. All right? You don't see P. Diddy on TV rolling his cream Bentleys and all that bullshit he was talking about. Okay? That means nothing now. You don't see nobody on TV bragging about their money or anything because everybody's ass is on lockdown. Okay? He says, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Verse 12, here's the point. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right? Ophir is a rare jewel. And that's what a man of the Lord is going to be at this time. A man of the Lord is going to be able to protect the people under him, to feed them, clothe them, heal them. Okay? He's going to be a one-stop shop. Who's not going to want to be a part of that, man? All right? So, I believe the point has been made on this video. You women are headed into a time where you're going to have to change your way of thinking. That's why the scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Okay? You got to get out of that westernized mindset. Most of you women out there, they got one husband. You as only woman. A lot of women mistreat their men when they get them. You know, they do. So, this is going to be the new mindset going into the kingdom, and before Yahushua returns. This is why it says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to change the way you think. You're going to have a new normal. Okay? So, I'd just like to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua Bashem Akakadash. Peace and salutations to you. Stay tuned for part 2. Matthias out.